So ladies and gentlemen, as this very productive day comes to a close, I would like to invite William Schirano, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Multilateral Engagement and Market Development at the U.S. Department of Energy, to share the closing remarks.
And what a crowd we still have. I mean, this is amazing. It's right at the end of the day, and it's on a Friday, so thank you all for sticking around for this just incredible conversation. Thank you, Drew. Thank you to AmCham for making this possible. And of course, thank you to our gracious Kenyan hosts. Earlier, I described the DOE's role and relevance in energy and critical minerals projects across Northern Corridor countries. In these closing remarks, my goal is to reflect a broader vision for the U.S. government's international approach to critical mineral supply chains. I want to start by emphasizing that the President's plan to diversify global supply chains rests on the importance of mutually beneficial partnerships that see more value creation and retention within the countries that source our most important minerals. If developed in the right way and with trusted partners, Africa can build resilient supply chains that move beyond extraction and into higher value processing and manufacturing, while bringing with it energy access and jobs for its communities. As we have all heard throughout the day, minerals are the elemental building blocks of a modern competitive economy. Economic sectors from telecommunications to defense to energy all need specialized critical minerals to operate, grow, and innovate. And yet these global resources are subject to market distorting concentrations that hurt the economic, energy, and national security interests of the United States and those of our partners and allies around the world. These market concentrations have increased in recent years. The average market share of the top 3 refining nations of key energy minerals was 82% in 2020. By 2024, that market share had risen to 86%, according to our friends at the IEA. Sometimes this could be the result of market realities, such as resource endowments, labor costs, and technological advantages. But oftentimes, unfair and distorting market practices are the cause. These distortions are designed to create an economic threat to the prosperity of any nation, dependent on these supply chains, and we have seen that threat materialize in the form of export controls targeting industrial capacity. For example, recent export controls from China on gallium and germanium, which started back in 2023, target the production of vital commercial and national defense products and components. We saw this earlier in the 2010s when China cut off rare earth element access due to tensions with Japan. This track record makes clear that China will leverage this tool at will. These measures of economic coercion increased in recent years to cover more critical minerals and products associated with their production and processing. The solution is not to punish any one country, but to manage and address the risks stemming from the market concentration and protect the energy security of the United States and of our partners. So what are we doing about this problem domestically? In 2017, the Trump administration launched the first federal strategy to ensure secure and reliable supplies of critical minerals through Executive Order 13817. 8 years later, the President has recommitted his administration to the challenges before us through 6 new executive orders reinforced by bold action. 2 of the principal needs that are driving this thinking include the need to reindustrialize the United States and the need for supply chain diversification. We're investing in mining projects, we're stockpiling minerals, and we're going to protect our mining companies, and we're rebuilding our mining ecosystem. In less than a year, the U.S. government announced deals with key industry partners like MP Materials, Korea Zinc, and Lithium Americas. In addition, the Department of Energy announced more than $1 billion in available funding opportunities to strengthen critical mineral supply chain security. At the U.S. Department of Energy, our research and development portfolio channels resources to innovators in both the private sector and DOE's national laboratories through initiatives such as the Critical Minerals Innovation Hub. This is just one example of a program with an excellent track record of developing cutting-edge critical minerals technologies which are adopted by industry or set the standard for a given class of material. We are also conducting aggressive outreach to our partners to ensure that these projects in our domestic capacity are part of a thriving international market. To do that, we have to be strategic about how and when we deploy our resources, and we need partners committed to building a market that is fundamentally sound and fair. That's why we are pursuing bilateral agreements and deals and helping finance projects abroad to ensure that U.S. supply chains and those of our partners and allies have secure and reliable access to the resources they need. Partners like Kenya, with important mineral and energy resources, increasingly developed infrastructure, and shared values, are crucial to advance common interests in critical mineral supply chain security. And we hope that Kenya will see the value in partnership with the United States. We have a suite of U.S. government tools that enable, facilitate, and streamline cooperation, such as the Export-Import Bank to finance U.S. exports, and under the Supply Chain Resiliency Initiative to finance international minerals projects that could lead to U.S. imports. The U.S. International Development Finance Corporation to finance and de-risk international projects, and the U.S. Trade and Development Agency, which can fund early-stage studies that determine the technical and economic potential of a particular project. The whole U.S. government is focused on advancing real commercial deals and seeing impactful projects get started. If you have a project that has merit, that can help the U.S. and Kenya achieve our respective energy security goals, the U.S. government is committed to finding ways to be helpful, and that is precisely why I am here. As much as the U.S. government is here to support, I want to underscore that any partnership with the United States should not be defined so much as a partnership with the U.S. government, but as a partnership with U.S. industry. As the government, we can encourage, we can incentivize, we can defray costs and de-risk investments, and we can facilitate connections between companies and international partners. But unlike in other systems, we cannot tell our companies what to do. That means when you do business with an American company, you should be confident that they are investing in a project because they believe that project can make a return on that investment. As I close, partnership is not a piece of paper that two governments sign. As my colleague Jack pointed out, a partnership is a hive of activity that is working together to build something real. I look forward to exploring how the U.S. and Kenya can work together to address our shared and respective goals around energy security and access to reliable critical mineral supply chains. So thank you again to the event organizers for hosting this wonderful event and being the link to my experience in Nairobi and its people. A thanks to our wonderful host country, of course, and thank you to the attendees for your time, your experience, and your work building stronger supply chains in Kenya and across the region.
Thank you so much, Mr. Schirano. And as he mentioned, still having a crowd like this at the end of the day does say a lot about the conversations that we've had today. And I'm sure you will agree with me that today has been more than just a conversation. It's been about building a roadmap for a resilient, sustainable US-Kenya supply chain. Well, on behalf of the U.S. Embassy and AmCham Kenya, thank you for your time, thank you for your expertise. But for now, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.